Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Oscar, and the music team and the band. So this morning, I want to start off with a powerful quote. It's a powerful quote from Neville Goddard, and it's from the book, The Power of Awareness. I don't have a slide on this, but this is a powerful quote that I'm going to start with. A change of circumstance happens as a result of a change in the state of your consciousness. Okay, a change of circumstance happens as a result of a change in your state of consciousness. So all month, what have we been talking about? Well, this month's theme is spiritual awakening, raising consciousness. So we've been talking about raising consciousness all month. And today, I'm going to talk about the power of awareness. So, good thing that I pulled from Neville Goddard and his book. So how do we change the state of our consciousness? How do we do that? Well, the first thing, in order to change the state, which will in fact change all of the outpicturing, the experiences, the conditions, the situations, the circumstances, is we first must become aware. If we're not aware of what's happening in the state of our own consciousness, can't change it. Have you ever just sort of walked through life and not been aware? One of the examples that I think about sometimes, have you ever driven from A to B, and when you get to B, wherever you're going, you go, I don't remember being aware of me driving. But you got there, right? You got there safely. But you weren't really aware of the drive along the way. And thank goodness you got there safely. But you weren't conscious of the drive and what was going on around you and within you through that entire time. So that's sort of just being on autopilot, isn't it? So it begins with our own awareness, and the only place that can take place is within our own self. It's the only place. And it's the awareness of our thoughts and our feelings. So I do have a slide for this so you can see this quote, that the power of awareness is that which gives us access to our internal states, as well as becoming more present to those states of the world around us. So we have to use the power of our own awareness. And by doing that, then we have access to what's going on inside of us. It's not just happening, reacting, things going on without our awareness. And awareness is our access point. It is the way into our consciousness. So this is why it's so significantly important that we must first become aware of our internal state, because that is the portal into our own consciousness and being able to raise it up. We can more easily raise our consciousness by raising our awareness. So I trust that we're going to raise our awareness today with some spiritual practices and some tools. We are defining awareness as a state of being conscious of something. So that's how we're defining what awareness is. Am I conscious of something going on within me? More specifically, it is the ability to directly know and perceive, to feel, and to be cognizant of the events. So learning to watch our mind, to begin to watch it, watch our mind and watch our emotions. Two very different things. But as we begin to watch our mind and our emotions, it's a powerful way to raise our awareness, to provide just a little bit more raise in our consciousness. But we've got to do this through detachment. To remember that our thoughts and our feelings are actually not who we are. It's not who we are, our thoughts and our feelings, but rather something that we have. I have a thought, and the emotions, this is what I'm experiencing. But that emotion is not who I am. This thought is not who I am. because I am an individualized expression, magnificent being of the one life, right? And so to detach, to be a witness without judgment is so significantly important. And to understand that these are merely feelings and thoughts that I'm having. And as we know, any thought and any feeling isn't permanent. It's not going to stay around forever. So I don't have to have judgment on it. Oh, I have an emotion. I'm being triggered and now I'm angry. I don't have to have judgment on that. I used to have a lot of judgment on that because how can I be angry if I'm so spiritual? I can't, because that anger doesn't stay around forever and ever and ever within me. So I can detach from that. And my thoughts can easily change. My emotions and my feelings can change. I don't have to live there forever. And when we are the ones that decide right now, because I've observed it, I've witnessed it, I'm aware of them, now I can change them. And that's the power of that awareness. So fully engaging in the power of our awareness is being able to see and notice what is going on internally. When I am reacting, when you are reacting, when someone else is reacting, and I've gotten triggered. Or maybe, again, I'm just simply unconscious and on autopilot. This is why you hear there's so much emphasis that's placed on the observer, the witness. There are books written about this. To be a witness, a third party, to just begin to witness yourself. Oh, there she is again. Ah, there's that trigger again. Oh, there's that emotion again. It's okay. I'm just witnessing it. Now, the interesting thing is, there have been many, many times in my life over these past several years where I'm actually not aware that something's going on within me. I'm just not aware. I've been triggered or I'm reacting to something. And good enough, I have a wonderful, beloved partner that can notice. In fact, she is so intuitive. I just want to tell y'all something. You can't get away with anything with Petra because she feels energy like nobody I've ever met. And so when she feels or senses a shift in energy within me, she will come up to me and go, "Are you all right? Is everything okay?" And I'm not aware in that moment that something's going on. And I'll go, yeah, everything's fine. The good news for me, what I've started to become aware of about myself, I don't know about you, but when I use the word fine, that's become like a flag for me now. When I go, yeah, everything's fine. And I hear that word, I then go, oh. And I drop into that witnessing. And I drop into that inner awareness of, well, what's going on? And I start to do an internal scan of my thoughts, my recent thoughts, or something that just recently happened. And I especially begin to start noticing, well, how is my body right now? Am I holding my breath? Am I sort of clenching down? Am I like running away on the inside? Am I shutting down? What's going on? I'm like doing a scan. And if I start going, yep, okay, I've detached, I've shut down, then I begin to question within myself, well, what triggered this? What thoughts were running through me just before she asked me, are you okay? What am I feeling? And so I have used the power of my awareness. And I just said everything's okay. Everything's fine. But that was... Excuse me. And I have to go within and use the power of my own awareness of, no, actually, everything's not okay. I just got triggered. I wasn't even aware that I just got triggered, but my energy and everything about me and how I was actually showing up possibly in that moment with someone shifted. So I have a great exercise for you that I want to share. This is something that you can right now start to implement in your life. On a few occasions throughout the week, for the next few weeks, do this. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Set a timer on your phone or on your microwave, whatever you want to do. Set a timer for 10 minutes. And I want you to have these categories that's on this slide. I want you to start noticing in these 10 minutes your self-talk. Just what's going on inside of you. In these 10 minutes, I want you to start noticing, are you doing any kind of futurizing or planning? Just start to notice it. If you do, make a check next to future planning. Don't judge it. Just go, oh, I'm thinking about next week when I go on vacation. Check. Okay. All right. Within these 10 minutes, do you think about the past or bring up a memory? Okay. Check it. Just put a little check mark by it. In these 10 minutes, do you have any kind of sensation in your body, like, tension or stress or excitement or what? Just make a check next to it. No judgment, just witness it, check mark. Are there any emotions in this 10 minutes that's coming up? Are you happy? Got a little sadness, maybe a memory? Brought up some sadness, maybe a memory, brought up some happiness. Just make a check. And then when this 10 minutes is over, now this is just 10 minutes that you are actually being fully aware of these things. Your self-talk. Are you doing any kind of futurizing, looking in the past or bringing up a memory? Do you have any sensations going on in your bodies and what emotions? As you're making checks, you can then look and say, well, where do you spend most of your time in your mind? In your thoughts? Did you know this? If you have 24 checks with futurizing, did you know that? Just be curious about it. What does this reveal to you? Ask yourself, when you start to notice this, what does this reveal to you? This is a powerful way to start training oneself to become aware, to use the power of awareness. And when we become more and more aware of what's going on inside of us, oh, I promise you, the things that go on around us and the things that we bring into our lives significantly change. We can experience a lot of love, a lot of joy, gratitude. And what I want to do is experience a little bit of that right here and right now. We're going to hear from an amazing woman, Soul Dynasty.
Thank you. I'm going to sing a cappella today, and I'm going to sing a montage of songs that I love. I hope you enjoy it. Praise God for the beauty of our being. Praise God for the love that abides. Praise God for the beauty of our being. Praise God for the love that Trust love, trust God, that love is everywhere, that we are here to be the perfect givers of love and receivers of love, and love will have the final word. I said love will have the final word. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 dee-da-dum. Listen more often to things than to beings. Listen more often to things than to beings. 'Tis the ancestors' breath. When the fire's voice is heard, 'tis the ancestors' breath. In the voice of the waters, yeah. For the love, may all beings be happy and free. May peace reign. May we be filled with gratitude and love. Gratitude, 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 gratitude and love. May all beings be happy and free. May peace reign. May we be filled with gratitude and love. This is my song. This is my prayer. This is my song. This is my praise. Ashe. Amen.
Thank you.
Wow.
Woo. Thank you, Soul Dynasty. Oh my gosh, that was beautiful. A cappella, love it. Okay, so I already gave a great exercise that I'm encouraging you to do a couple of times over the next few weeks. So, all right, we know this law of attraction. And you hear a lot about the law of attraction, and it works. Recently, we started considering and looking for a third vehicle to take up to our cabin in the woods. And so sort of got clear on what it was. But let me tell you, the moment I started thinking about a SUV, four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive used, reasonably cost, everywhere I was looking on the road, the only thing I saw were these SUVs that I was considering, the certain brands and the models, and I was like, oh, there's one, and there's one. Wonder how old that is, how much that costs, whatever. It was just like all of my attention, all of my awareness. Now, before that happened, my awareness wasn't there, but when I started driving around, my awareness was there. I was like, well, there's a Toyota. Oh, there's a Honda. Oh, there's a Nissan. There's a Jeep. There's whatever it was. And it's so interesting, even after I found the perfect one for us, I haven't picked it up yet. So it's not like I picked it up and now we have it. My awareness is still going wherever I look. What I'm thinking about and placing my attention on. So, the most powerful spiritual practice that I've had in my life since I heard about it, coming into Science of Mind, outside of spiritual mind treatment, is a spiritual practice called Look for the Good. Okay, it is a spiritual practice. I am bringing my awareness to look for the good. Now, this is so significantly important to me because I grew up with a parent that looked for the negative. Everywhere. Look for the negative. Talk about the negative. Everything could have been okay, but this was talked about. So, imagine there is a nice whiteboard right here in front of me. It's beautiful, it's white, it's clean. Okay, maybe it's behind me. Y'all have good imaginations. I know you do. So there's this big whiteboard behind me. And I got a black marker. And all I'm going to do is put a little black dot right here. Just right there. You see it? You see it? Yeah, I know you do. Where is my attention? Where am I looking? Am I looking at this whole whiteboard? Or did my attention now become looking at that black dot? It's a powerful spiritual practice. We can have, if I don't watch my awareness within me, especially before I speak, we could have the most beautiful, I'm going to tell myself, we could have the most beautiful Sunday celebration there is. Like, rocked it, loved it. It was so good. And if I'm not aware of what's going on inside me and on autopilot and patterns that I grew up with in my thinking, I will then go, oh, that was great, except boom. I've got to look for the good. So this is a beautiful, powerful spiritual practice. Look for the good in every situation. Recently, and we'll get to the second one, which is look for the good and praise it. First, you have to look for the good, and then when you find the good, praise it. So last month, we went on vacation, Peter and I, to our cabin in the woods. And she got so excited seeing the first sign of spring up there in north through the manifestation of forsythia plants. Okay, she grew up in the Northeast, and forsythia plants, which I have to practice saying that, are these beautiful yellow bushes. And when they bloom, that's the first sign of spring. So I watched how excited she was about getting to see those bushes again. And everywhere we went and looked, we were seeing these beautiful forsythia bushes. And she said, man, I would love to plant one. And I'm like, okay, well, let's get one. I watched her excitement. And she was like, well, I don't know that we can dig a hole big enough. And I was like, it's all right. We can do it. Let's just go ahead and plan on getting one. Well, we looked and she figured out where she wanted it on the property. And I was very grateful that she said, well, how about in this spot? Because it was like this really low spot and you wouldn't have to dig as far down because it was already in a low spot. I was very grateful for that. I was looking for that good. Well, look, I'm not going to have to dig so far because it's already got a depression in it and I can just put dirt around it and then it looks level, right? I don't have to dig. So we ended up getting 2 bushes. One forsythia and something that I can't remember right now. So we bought 2. And something was going on that day. It was slightly rainy, but something was going where she couldn't really help to dig. I think she pulled something, but she couldn't dig. I was like, I got it. So I started digging. So first thing I did was I looked for the good that I don't have to dig so far. And then because I could do one so easily, I started looking for the good, like, well, then the second one's going to be just as easy because it had a slight depression, not as much as the first. But I was like, I can do this. I was so confident. I said, why don't you go on? Because she wanted to buy a lilac bush as well. I said, why don't you go on and buy the lilac bush? I can plant all 3 today. It's all right. I got this. Go buy a lilac bush. She was so excited. She went off and I got the second one dug. She came back. She saw the 2 bushes. Okay, so now she said, well, I want this lilac bush over here, flat ground. I'd already dug 2 holes. I was like, okay, over here by the shed. Okay, all right, I got it. You know, I can dig this hole. When I dug the second hole, I hit a rock. I didn't know how big it was, but I hit a rock. And I kept digging with the shovel and I kept going and I wanted to get that rock out of there. It actually ended up being a pretty good sized rock, about this big. Okay, that was a big rock, heavy rock, but I didn't know that. I just kept feeling around and I didn't give up and I started looking for the good and like, okay, well, I know that this rock isn't going to go on forever. I started looking for the good. And the really good thing came is when I finally pulled that rock out of the ground, there was this big gaping space in there. My hole got much bigger. That was a spiritual practice. I looked for that good. It wasn't like, I didn't complain about the heaviness of the rock, how big it was. I was looking for the good. And when I finally pulled that rock out of that second hole, I went, look at that. That hole, I don't have to dig much more. So I actually began to love that rock. And thank goodness, because that third hole had nothing but rocks in it. And it was flat ground. And I was determined that I could dig a hole big enough to plant this lilac bush so well for Petra. And so I made a game of it. I started looking for the good as I started digging. And I didn't take it as a negative. I didn't start complaining. I went, when I find where this rock ends, there's going to be a big space when I pull it away. And then there was another one. Oh, I'm so happy I got another rock. And when I find that rock and pull it out, there's going to be another big space. And I was just pulling good sized rocks. Here, there were some little ones, but there were some good size. And I started looking for the good and I started praising that rock. And it didn't take me long to get that hole dug on flat ground. So, a powerful spiritual practice to change our consciousness and use the power of awareness is to begin to look for all the good in our life and to be grateful for it and celebrate it. All the good. I've got another Neville Goddard quote from The Power of Awareness. And he says, the great secret is a controlled imagination. I'd call it a controlled mind in what we hold in our mind. Great secret is a controlled imagination of a well-sustained attention, firmly and repeatedly focused on the feeling of the wish fulfilled, until it fills the mind and crowds all other ideas out of consciousness. So I'd use some different words, but I love this. So the secret is to control the thoughts and place our attention through our awareness of what the thoughts are and bring in the thoughts we want, that hold that vision repeatedly. Keep it focused and bring in the feelings, the emotions of it is already here. It is now. It is those two things worth repeating every week, every day, every hour of our lives. That's the secret, is to hold those thoughts firmly. Be aware that these are the thoughts that I'm holding, instead of being on autopilot and holding thoughts I don't want to hold. And hold the feeling of this is already here. I held the feeling of the highest mental equivalent of a third vehicle that we could afford that would be so well maintained up until the purchase, that was highly good investment, and that we could safely drive up north and keep. And I held that, and it was like, it's here. And when the first attempt was not it, I'm like, doesn't matter. It's here. And there it was. And I know that when it fully arrives, like I pick it up, I won't have my attention on SUVs anymore. I get to then bring my power of my awareness into what is next. What are the thoughts? And I'll share one of the most powerful things that I found in the Science of Mind textbook on this. It has to do with spiritual mind treatment. Ernest Holmes tells us that spiritual mind treatment is the power of the interior awareness, an inner realization. That's all that spiritual mind treatment is I'm using the power of my interior awareness on the realization that is already here within me, in my mind, that this is so real. And I'm eliminating any thoughts or any situations or circumstances that come between what I'm holding inwardly to become outwardly. So shift your awareness to the energy with which you want to manifest what you want to experience and bring into your life. Master the art of being focused on your awareness where you want it. Otherwise, your mind will make your awareness indulge in fear or something else that you don't want. Everything that could go wrong. And then you'll believe your mind because it can sound so convincing. Awareness is our access point, our way into consciousness. And do those interior scans often. Set a timer, even for 5 minutes. Where am I? Be aware of what's going on inside of you. Because the inside creates the outside. Look for the good everywhere you can. And everywhere you find it, praise it. Be grateful for it. Because there's so much power in the power of awareness. Let's ignite that power in our lives. And so I'm just going to invite us all to go within. There is one power. There is one presence. Right now, there is a full recognition of the truth of this. There's nothing outside of it, nothing that stands against it, nothing that can deplete it, nothing that can diminish it, nothing that can outlive it. For it is the one power, the one presence, the one love. And that one power is omniscient and omnipotent and omnipresent. That one power knows where and how to bring everything into its fullest, highest potentiality, greatest yet to be, ever and ever expanding and evolving from the stars shooting across the cosmos to the ant carrying twice its body weight across the grass, and everything in between. This one power is a power of abundance and creativity and beauty, peace, harmony, and love. And I am aware of this power. And I am aware that this power is me, is within me, is through me, expressing always as me. And as I know that this is the truth of my life, I absolutely know that this is the truth of your life. Every single life within the sound of this voice. We are the power of the one love expressed, the one life expressed, showing up uniquely as only it can be as us. And so I speak the word for each of us, absolutely knowing that the power of awareness is awake, is alive, is conscious in our lives. That we scan our interior and place our attention on the things, the places, the people, the experiences that we want to have. We let go of anything in the past that doesn't serve us. We let go of the future because it's now, right here, all laid out before us. We let go of anything that restricts, constricts, ignites fear, unworthiness. Just drop it, let it be, and stay alive and aware of what's fresh before us. Those moments of high resolve. I know the power of awareness is present. We use it, for we be it, because we are the conscious made manifest. And so I release these words into the universal law, knowing that as they are set forth, let loose, they truly are right here, right now, expressed as each of us, as abundance, as peace, as beauty, as creativity, as harmony, as love. I am aware that this works every single time. And so I let it be, for it already is so. And so it is.